Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Back to the Drawing Board. I am Ted Davies, and this is Ted Davies Artistry. Today, we're going to go through my book, Retrieve. We're going to go through the layout of the first page of the layout and show you a little bit of the styling and what we're doing for the book. So please, if you wouldn't mind, sit back, relax, get a cup of coffee or whatever you drink, and let's get to it. Welcome back. And if it's your first time here, this is, let me tell you a little bit about this channel. I think we're creative, and we're trying to show you a little bit about what we do here at Ted Davies Artistry, about what books we create, what art we create, and hopefully it'll inspire you to do some work too, because I think that that's what it's all about, everybody inspiring everybody. I want to talk to you today about Cashman's Comics, who is our sponsor. Let me get up here and find out where this where his logo is. Cashman's Comics has been in Bay City, Michigan for the last 26 years. If you have any new comics that you're looking for, anything that's in the market, whether it be Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, Image, any of these comics, check out everything that Cashman Comics is doing and say hello to Petey the guard dog. He is awesome. I don't know if he does any of the ordering, but John does most of it. He will ship everything worldwide as long as you pay for the shipping. And I know John has helped me build my collection, as you can see behind me and all around here. So check out everything that he's doing. We also want to talk about Comics Unlimited. Let me split the screen here. And hold on one second. Whoops. There you go. Comics Unlimited. It's an awesome publication. It's about comics, shockingly, right? Glenn B. Fleming and I put this together. It is available on Amazon under Glenn B. Fleming's page. Check out everything that we're doing. This is actually book 9. Book 10 is going to be coming out, I think, this next month in July, so August. It'll be here. Looking really good. So check out everything that we're doing with that. If you'd like to advertise with Comics Unlimited as well, that would be great. We would love to have you part of our group. And if you need any pricing in that or any interest in doing that, get a hold of me at teddaviesartistry.com or any of the affiliate social media connections. We will definitely get back with you on that. Okay, and let's see what else we've got today. Ted, what's in the box? Every week, what we do is we have a section of time that we look through a couple of the long boxes. I do vintage comic book sales as well. So this is the group of comics that we've got as far as the books this week. So check out everything on this. We've got X-Force 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, got two number 5s there. Number 6, and number 7. So 2 through 7 we will have of the X-Force series. These are all in excellent condition. Check out everything that we're doing with that. If you are interested in any of these 2 through 7 X-Force series, let me know. You're part of Ted's tribe. Let me know by tomorrow, Wednesday at 5 o'clock. They should be posted, but let me know if you are interested, and I will give you special pricing on that. Once they go on the Facebook page, though, it's pretty much that's what you got for price. So, but check out everything we're doing with that, because I would love to have you guys own these great books. All right. Let me get back to where I was. Okay, so today, like I said, we're on book 3 of Retrieve. I'm going to go through a little bit about one of the series of the books. So let me zoom out of this a little bit. There we go. So in book 2, I'm going to say good morning to everybody in a second here. In book 2, let me get a little bit better picture there. This is actually the second printing version, but in book 2, on the end of the book, they in the story, the two brothers end up having the UN has actually approved them to work the Retrieve system to actually go after people that have never been brought to justice in their past lives. So the whole premise of the story is about a system called Retrieve that can go back and regress people to their past lives. And if they were criminal, if they were severe, like monster criminals, i.e., Hitler, Mengele, that type of thing, that's what they're going after. And the UN, the chairman that we were talking about in the last show, if you haven't looked back on that, go back through the catalogs and look through the last show that we did. The chairman here, this guy, is shocked to find out that the brothers are actually going to be going after Mengele, the monstrous Dr. Mengele from the Holocaust. And that's where we're going to start out. So this is actually the first layout page of what we're going to be doing with the book on Retrieve Book 3. So let's go through that a little bit more in depth. But first, I want to say good morning, everybody. But I also want to show you what we did from last week. So this was actually the finished product from the second lead-in page, a splash page that we actually did. This is Archimedes. You'll notice that up in the, let's see, I guess it's my right hand. I guess it's your right-hand side too. There's going to be a series of text in there as well. So that's basically the splash page. It's going to get a little bit more information about what is going on in the story. Before that, we went through the initial page with the chairman on it, and that's also going to have text in it. And then we also have the main cover for book 3, the first printing. So, but you're getting the stylized viewpoint of it. I did add a few things digitally to that, just so that you guys know. But in any way, shape, or form, I want to welcome everybody. So let's get to the comments real quick. Good morning, everybody. Let's see who we got in the house here today. Glenn, good morning. Carl, how you doing? Let's see, Donna. Hopefully everybody can hear me too, by the way. Frost Bear, what's up, man? How you doing, Pete? Okay. And that's about it for today. So that's good right now. Please like and share this out too, guys. I would appreciate it greatly. And I'm going to get to the drawing board. So let's get on that. Hey, Eric, how you doing? Hopefully you're staying dry. I heard there's some really bad flooding down St. Louis way. So everybody, please stay safe and dry, but mainly safe. So, okay. So what we're going to do today is I start out, you guys already know about the framework, the actual border work that I do. And in that they've got, it's a 1/2 inch all the way around. So it reduces the size from 12 by 18 to 11 by 17. So, and you guys already know that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to the last videos. Like I said, hey guys, people are driving down the road honking. They know I'm on air, of course. So they've got to do that, right? But I need to make sure that you guys know that the setup here is going to be the same on each page. But the way I'm going to do this is I'm actually floating in color first. And I'm doing this a couple different ways. I'm actually going to be doing some added on almost applique border. And what I mean by that is I'm actually going to be taking different materials, different types of border materials, including paper and that. I'm actually going to be building in a lot of this. So it's going to give kind of a 3D effect. And when I go to scan it, it's going to have little shadow lines and everything. It's going to look really, really, really cool. But that's what I want the book 3, 4, and 5 to be more along those lines. But to give an idea though for you, just want to let you know the layout. That's what I'm doing. So it's going to be very, it's not going to look like any comic book you normally have seen. There's a few books that I'm basing this off of. They are more of an illustrated graphic novel, but essentially it's the same border, but it's going to be different. It's going to be really interesting to look at, is what I'm getting at. So, okay. So we already know about that as far as the size on the borders. I'm just going to do a light line just to get a feel for that space, but I'm not really worried about it too much because this is just more so for just to make sure I've got some guide for and that's roughly half, give or take. But what I want to do though is I'm going to end up breaking this up, and I'm doing this in a very crazy way. A lot of people aren't going to be like, oh man, what's he doing? Because everybody likes more precise comics and this isn't going to be that. So when I've got when I've got a few things drawn here, like I said, this is going to be kind of the gate of everything, kind of keeping everything on the page. You'll see that in a bit, though. Let's see how we're going to do that. So I want to end up leaving it that way. Okay. The palette that we're using today too, I ended up I'm leaving. The one nice thing about these the tray that we did last week is we've got the original crimson. I ended up putting more of the lemon yellow in. I used a Prussian blue, and then I used the turquoise as well as black. So that's going to be kind of the format for the colors for today. Again, you use whatever colors you want on your comic book. If you're doing, I don't think not many people do watercolor for their comic books, but yeah, that's what I'm using. So. I don't know if I know the rules or not, Glenn, but flying by the seat of my pants, but that's fine. Whatever. I think that you have to break out a little bit from that, because I think that there's too many rules when it comes to you're already stuck in a 11 by 17 box here, so you might as well try to bring out as much as you can with the with it. So okay, so on that, I'm leading the eye from left down to the left top corner down to the right corner. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be telling kind of a in the storyline. Actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to probably end up doing this a little bit differently. I want to make this more of a there we go. Like I said, it's going to look terrible right now, but once I get the colors down, you guys will understand what I'm saying. And I'm also using I'm doing something different with this. You're not necessarily going to have in the comic, you're not necessarily going to have skin tones, that kind of thing. It's going to be more color tones. There might be more like it's more so of a feeling that the person's having versus the actual, like, okay, we know this guy's white, we know this guy's black, we know this guy's whatever. I mean, it goes through, even with Archimedes, it'll blend kind of with my hope is that you forget that he's in a metal he's a metal suit. So in the story, so I'm hoping that kind of dissipates. Yeah, thanks, Carl. And it is a art book. I appreciate that. I know that and that's, I think every comic book's an art book, but I think that there's who sets the tone, I mean, there's got to be a way that we do this to have it as artists. We need to experiment when it comes to this type of medium. I think that it's a very important thing to tell a story. No matter what it is, it needs to be told your way. So you guys figure out what you want to do. If you want to draw your comic books or your prose books with illustrations or whatever, and you have something that we need to have it so that there's, I think the neighbor just went by the window. You might be cutting the grass here. I might have to shut this window. Little early. I guess it's 10 o'clock. I guess it's not that early. I know in a couple weeks we're going to have a well put in, and it's going to be, I don't know, I might have to do the shows recorded because it's going to be quite loud while they're putting in the well. So in any case, I'm trying to bring in this type of 1, 2, 3 portion onto this. This might end up actually coming up to this point, so I get a little bit more of a play on the layout. But again, you want to get it to the point where people are going to want to flip the page. A lot of this is going to be dark in here in these sections, but you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. But then you get from 1, 2, 3, turn the page. So there's going to be quite a bit of movement, hopefully, on the page. But I want to get the first thing first. I want to get the base color down, and that's where I'm going to bring in that Prussian blue. The Prussian blue I'm going to end up putting through pretty much. I'm going to lighten it. Well, let's just see what happens with it. I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to do it because it never ends up going exactly the way you want it to. So we're using the standard brush that I had before. You guys know the routine. That didn't sound good. Whatever it was. Sorry about the noise outside. Somebody's working across the way here. They'll be done in a minute. So I'm setting the tone for the page right now, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. We'll end up taking that ink down here in a minute, like we normally do. Right now, I don't really care if it's off the page right now because it's just kind of, we're setting the tone for the whole work here. So how's that angle for the camera? Is that a little bit better now? I've been doing some different things in the studio. I'm setting up a few things differently. I think it's going to be a nicer look. It looks like it's a little bit clearer, and we shall see if this works out well. I think it will, though. Okay. Picture looks great. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. I'm just using some water just to break up some of the color, just to give it some depth. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the characters and the story. Once I get this down to an abstract, well, I really know what I'm working with here. Then we're going to start taking and adding the characters to it. And I'm just going to build that layering on here. You'll see what I'm doing in a second here, hopefully. And I'm just trying to get, like I said, the tone, really the tone aspect of it all. I'm just trying to get everything to the point where I can start working the way I wanted to with the original feeling, so that the page, once you see the white and everything else I'm going to add to this, I think you guys are going to agree. Once it's done, I'm not going to be able to get it all done in an hour, but it'll be sweet once it's ready to roll. I'll have to let that dry too. We'll talk a little bit more about character placement and development while I'm doing that. But okay, like I said, we're going to have to add some things to that. I'm not going to take it down quite yet. I'm going to let it dry a bit, and then I'll take down the color in a minute. But you can get an overall feel. You can see the first panel here, and once I start adding the things to it, you guys will, as far as the borders go, you'll understand. This will be a little bit darker once it starts, once I start adding a few things in. And then this will be more tonal. I'll have that a little bit more, well, it might be more muted. But as far as this goes, these might end up lending themselves as for text. So I'm gonna kind of see how that goes. I'm experimenting a little bit with text in the way it's covering the book. When the text in the last books, the last two books, I don't know if I'm going to keep them in there because originally it was fine, but I think that it can get kind of confusing. When I was reading, when I was writing the book, I like having two different styles of text when Archimedes speaks. Kind of like when they have a different character in that, but when you're looking at like this here, from the main characters, from Max and Riley to Archimedes, you can see the difference in the texting or the font work. So I'm looking at it. I think it's okay. But I'm not trying to do. I don't know if I'm going to do that on this one. I'm going to end up having some type of. I don't know if it's going to. It'll be a little bit different. Not quite, but I want to keep it in the two original books because that was, like I said, so that the people know that they were original. Those were the original creations from the first book. I'm just reading the comments. Bear with me. Yeah, they are some pretty noisy neighbors. Not all the time, but our Tuesdays are trash day, and I think what it is, Glenn, and we've got the people put out, metal and all kinds of stuff, whether they're replacing their front doors or whatever it is, they end up having the not garbage pickers, but the metal people, drive by and they'll pick up stuff and whatever. And that's what that was next door. They're usually pretty quiet. We usually have pretty quiet neighbors, at least on the one side with the cemetery, right? But Pete, you got a blowgun, huh? All right, cool. Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of reflection on there. I don't know if I can get away from that, but it'll be all right once I taper it down a bit. And this light, it's kind of I've got the incandescent light on now, and then this is the fluorescent. I don't know if that's any better. I think that's probably worse. Yeah, that's worse. So I'm gonna turn that down. I mean, I can turn I don't want to. I want to be able to see the paper a little bit better. Let's just take that down just a bit. And again, I'm causing it to kind of marble a bit when I'm doing this, but you guys know my technique, and one of them anyway on this. Just pulling some of that cover or color off will help. And then I will probably work with it digitally too. I'll take it down a bit on that. Okay. I told you I'm going to be using some other colors too on this. I've got a series of pastels, and I guess they're grown-up crayons is what they are, but I found some of these old ones from college, Cray-Pass. These things are awesome. So I'm going to look at these. I've got a few things I want to add to a few of these pages. Like I said, it's going to be like you guys know, my abstract work and a lot of my colors and everything else. I think it's going to be quite a way of doing this. I think it's going to, and I think the people are going to the people that appreciate art, they're going to appreciate this. The storytelling will just be, I think, just a little bit better with the color work, and I'm hoping that I hope that you guys see that. I think that you will. I think that you will. But thanks for all you guys that tuned in to Drinking with the Davies. That has been one of our fastest growing videos yet. So whoever watched it, thank you. Appreciate it greatly. I need to have you letter this, huh, Glenn? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I've got Caitlin working on that's going to be actually taking some of my architectural handwriting, my penmanship, and actually putting it into a alphabet that I'm going to be using on a lot of my work too. So I'm hoping that happens. All of us been so busy, so I don't know if that we just haven't had time to do it, and it'll happen eventually. But if I can take each page and then set the tones that I want to on each of the pages, I think it's going to end up being better for the reader. I had I was a little concerned about it at the beginning, but you know what? I'm like, no. I said, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do. So I think it'll be better when it's all said and done. And I think it's going to be a good experiment. I think it's going to be a very good experiment. So, and that's the nice thing about self-publishing, because you do what you want, and if you wait and are told about, by your publisher that you can't do something, well, maybe it's time to get another publisher or just do it yourself. Okay, let that dry a bit. This isn't white. This is actually, there's glare. So you can see it's drying. So just, but you can see the coloration in it, a lot of it too, if you see some of the yellows. And if I end up seeing it this way too, digitally, if I want to change it, I can, if it's something to where it doesn't look right or whatever, I'll do that. I can change it digitally. Yeah, I was looking at, actually, the graphics person that I have, Caitlin, she came up with the idea because she saw my handwriting and she said, "Hey, why don't we implement that into a font?" She said that I think that would be just an awesome way for you to segue, your books into something a little bit more, you. And I'm like, well, yeah, I think that's a great idea. I never had thought about it before. And I think that, looking back on it now, I think it's a great idea, but it takes some time. I don't know, I don't know, it's like I said, things get in the way. We got a lot of things going, both of us. So it'll happen eventually. Good morning, Joe D. How you doing, man? Watercolor can be such a demanding medium. God, I can't, there's no way to really repair it. It's not like you're adding acrylics, but this will be kind of the basis. It's almost like I treat it kind of like a stained glass in a way. If you look at the way that I'm trying to maneuver it, it's very cubist, but it's going to end up telling a story much like a stained glass window will in a church setting. So, and that was kind of, I was looking at it in this, full disclosure. I mean, I've been playing around with this idea before COVID. The story, I wrote it and put 2 books out, and then COVID hit, and then we ended up meeting, getting everything done with California and all that and it's just the development side of it is taking up a huge amount of time, as you guys know. But I really wanted something. I wanted you to be as interested in the page itself as you would be the characters that are on the page or the story. And that's what I'm kind of going for here. So each page is going to be like this, and it's going to be, I think, for the lack of a better word, a menagerie of colors and shapes, and it's going to be a different way to tell the story. And it's not going to be your normal comic, and that's it's an artist comic, and that's the way that Retrieve's always been. Now, I don't know about the next series after Retrieve. I don't know if it's going to be that. If it's, I have more of a cyberpunk-esque feel that I want with the continuation of the story, and you'll find out more about that by the end of the year this year. Yeah, so I mean it's evolving. Things are happening with it. And I know with Grimm, it's a little Grimm 101 book 3. It'll be more along the lines of what Grimm book 1 and book 2 were, with a little bit of watercolor implementation here and there in pen and ink. But as far as the Retrieve goes, it's going to be, I want to set it almost like a surreal experience when you're looking at it. I want it to be visually pleasing, and I want it to be interesting for the story, but I also want it to be something that's, wow, that's different. That's completely different than what I expected. And I like it. That's even better. So I'm just letting that drive for a couple minutes here, and we'll continue on. What have you guys heard? I hope Brian K. Morris is doing all right. I haven't heard from him this last couple of days. Hope he's all right. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. And the flooding that's happening in Missouri, I'm sorry if you guys are watching this on the replay or anything else. I hope you guys are all right. Or if you're live here, I hope you're all right too as well. Like I said, just stay dry. And then one thing about watercolor too, you have to let things dry, and it takes a while sometimes. So, but we'll get to that point. I'm not going to be taking hold on, let me grab this here. I'm not going to be taking this chunk of paper necessarily, but I'm going to end up I've got longer strands in that. They're going to actually be divided. I'm going to be adding, like I said, a lot of border work to this. Not a lot of it, but there's going to be border work to each of these pages, and you'll see what I'm trying to do here. I think it'll be a neat look. Neat graphic look too. I think it's going to be really a nice. Sorry guys, keep reaching across there. But yeah, it's. I think it's going to be really a nice looking book once it's all done. I hope the coloring doesn't cost anymore. It might, but we'll see. Yeah, sorry, it's kind of boring on this end. Let me flip back over here. But yeah, that's so let that dry for a couple minutes. Yeah, with this one here, with the Retrieve book, I ended up the second version. I did a lot of styling. And what I'm doing too is I'm also putting the actual unbadged artwork on the back. So on each of my books, I try to do that because a lot of people, even if they buy the print, sometimes they actually like to display it this way. I've had that people actually say that to me. And this print, you guys already know this, but this print sells more than I think anything else I've done but it's also Segway. A lot of people like this print for the book, so it works out really, really well with that. But with that, I've done a lot of the imaging on this the same way I'm doing the page. So I think that's you're trying to be cohesive in all of it, but it's coming together. Like I said, it's an experiment. So yeah, I know you do, Glenn. Yeah, you like good art. There's nothing wrong with that. Thanks, Glenn. I'm just giving you a hard time. I appreciate you guys liking some of my art, though. I appreciate it greatly because I know it's time consuming, and I know you got to watch. Like, oh God, do we have to watch another watercolor Ted's doing? But it does. I think it ends up being really, really cool when it's all done. Usually. BCam's doing okay though. That's good, Carl. I'm glad he's doing all right because I know it's not easy. Not easy right now. There's been a big influx of well, let's say the C word, but COVID-19, whatever. I said it. Hopefully he's okay though. I hope Cookie's all right too. It's not a fun thing to go through. Not a fun thing. A lot easier when you get your vaccinations though. But okay. All right, let me get back to the art. I think we can get back to that. Give me one sec here. I think it's dry enough now. I can start scribbling a little bit on it. One of the things too is I'll actually some people tape their watercolors. I don't like doing that. but I'm also working flat too, which helps. When you're working, flat on the desk versus upright, it works better. I think it works better. I'm just going to highlight this a little bit more so I know where I'm putting my line work. And like I said, it'll be going 1, 2, 3. So these will be fill-ins. And like I said, I don't know if I'm going to have text in there yet or not. I am going to bring in some colored pencil though. Just going to bring in some red. This may not show up on the camera, but it'll show up once we get things rolling here once we get it scanned and everything, it'll show up. It might help if I sharpen that one. God, I can't believe it's already been almost 45 minutes since I've been on. Just crazy. I mean, it really does fly here. I don't know about you guys, but time frame, it really flies. Some of the ones I want to experiment too on these pages, I might end up taking a series of pages, say 4 of them, and then color them all at one time, because I think that might be a really cool look too, depending on what I'm trying to do in the story. So I'm going to see if that works out too. There's going to be a few lines in these books that I've got 3 books remaining in the series, or 2 books, actually 3 books remaining in the series. There might be 4, but the biggest thing, the tone of it all is going to be, it's going to be there based in color, not necessarily word. So, and like I said, from the get, that's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to get it to the point where it's setting the mood totally with color versus words. And that's what I wanted. But I think hopefully you'll appreciate it. If you guys are fans, I know you will. But if you're not, that's okay too. And it's not meant for everybody. Not everybody likes this kind of stuff, which is fine. If they don't understand it, that's cool too. You don't have to. It's... Okay. But as far as layout goes, a lot of the stuff I work with John Celestri has been awesome. Going to watch Feed the Beast with the show, the podcast that we do. It's been great because he really goes through comic book layout, a 7-page layout of what he does. Fantastic. Really, I would definitely take a look and see what you guys, if you're interested in doing comics, look at that show because it will really go through and explain to you, literally taking post-it notes and creating a comic book that has a great amount of flow to it. This is a very easy S pattern way of storytelling. And I think that each page doesn't have to be an S pattern. It can be, but left to right, at least in the way that we read our books. Not like manga or anything, but this is just a very easy way to, and your eye will just naturally flow to it. And that's the whole idea. So, but I wanted to have it interesting. I wanted to have it somewhat presented so that it's, you don't have to be going to a art institute to understand it. But I think that it's a cool way to tell a story, to look at a comic book differently. I don't know. And if I'm crazy, that's good because I'd rather be a little crazy and be remembered that, hey, you know what, he actually experimented with some really cool ways of doing something different versus than just a humdrum, everything looks the same, which is okay, but it just doesn't fit my style or the book, my story for it. So, but yeah, that'll be like I said, it's you could. It's not really, today is more of a layout and just to see what the page is going to look like. We'll continue on with it next week, or I'll show you where I've made my progress with it, because I think that in the story, well, let's see, we've got 24 pages in this book, so I don't want to do 24 weeks of each page because I think it's going to be too long. We can condense that down maybe to 6 more shows, something along that lines, to where the book's done, and then it'll be ready for crowdfunding. I think that'll be awesome, and you guys are part of it, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys, trying to at least put up with me for an hour. I like it when you guys sit down and watch me create a little bit. We're doing some things differently in the studio too. I'm going to actually I'm broadcasting a little bit different, away from the portion of the library over here. I'm also gonna I want to have some feedback. Hopefully, you guys want to see the studio tour. I want to show you actually, what the studio is all about, what it looks like, how do how I work during the day. I'm going to probably do a day in the life of Ted Davies Artistry. I think you guys are going to dig it because there's really some pretty funny parts of the day and some really cool parts of the day too, with the lake and everything else. So, but yeah, I think, let me know. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you guys think. But I do want to do a studio, kind of a studio overview, but I'm going to do that probably not live. I'm going to do that with a little bit more of a finesse and editing in that. So, but yeah, check out everything that we're doing on Ted Davies Artistry, teddaviesartistry.com, all my social media, Instagram. We're going to be posting a lot of different things on here. Thanks everybody for being on Twitch. I appreciate it. And I appreciate all the feedback I've been getting on Twitch too, which has been very, very good. So thank you. Yeah, right. I don't think, Pete, you might have once or twice. I don't know, but try to have a good work day. Try to have a good evening. No envy, no fear. Try to enjoy your day and do something good for everybody, guys, or somebody, because it makes a huge difference. And we will talk to you. Look for this week under Comics Unlimited podcast on Thursday at 10 o'clock, because we got a lot going on with that. And that should be about it. I know that there's going to be Feed the Beast. We're posting a show coming up Wednesday. So check that out as well, and see where we're at with that. We will talk to you soon. Thanks so much, guys, for stopping in. We'll be continuing this next week. Thanks again.